Hi. So one of the concerns that I hear pretty frequently is that I'm just one person, how am I supposed to fix anything? And that's a sentiment that is shared in people who want to be change makers in the world and also within the context of your organization. We can't sit around and wait for the leaders in an organization to instigate all of the change. So there are things that we can do to help improve our organizational culture. It just requires a little bit of creativity. So one of the things that you can do is try to build authentic relationships across differences. And totally not coincidentally, I co-authored a book called Overcoming Bias, Building Authentic Relationships Across Differences, that can help you actually identify a bunch of things that you can do to help build those relationships. But it's important for you to, in the workplace, not be an island. You don't want to feel like you're all on your own, doing everything on your own. You want to find like-minded people, or at least people with similar values, who want to be part of the solution. It's great if there's diversity and they come from different places and you can get to know people who are different from you. But there's a very strong likelihood that there are things that you can come together around, whether they be cool new differences or things that you already agree on. But getting to know people is a really great idea. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to be a fantastic listener. People generally want to talk about themselves, so ask questions. But be authentically curious. Don't just be nosy. Dude, if you're nosy, people know it. Your intention is always going to come through. So if you can be genuinely curious about the other person, you'll be in a much better place to build a real relationship. So another question that people sometimes have is, how can they support marginalized groups at work? So you might have folks who are not having the best experience at work or not having the same experience that you have. And what can you do to actually support them? If you see something happen at work, if you see a situation that is, unfair or uncomfortable or inappropriate, what you don't want to do is stand there and do nothing. That's not helpful. So that's called being a bystander. You see it and you just kind of, you stay there. What the best course of action, if you want to be helpful, is to figure out how to be an ally. And sometimes being an ally is just about having a voice and using your voice when somebody else feels like they can't. So stand up for the person, call out the behavior and acknowledge that whatever just happened was inappropriate or unfair, and then be there for that person. Ask them what they need if they need any support, and be prepared for maybe that group or that individual to say, I don't want your help or I don't need it. They might be a little bit raw or uncomfortable at the time. They might really just not want your support, and you have to respect that. So asking people what it is that they need really does help. And then you might want to think about getting to know people a little bit better, because in those situations that get uncomfortable where you're trying to help a person out, if you've actually built a little bit of a relationship, if you have some camaraderie or some trust, it's easier to have those difficult conversations. So if you're only swooping in when something bad happens and then swooping out and never really having a conversation with them again, feels a little savory. So try to really listen to people, get to know them, understand what they value, what they need, who they are, and that will help you really understand how you can be of service when the time comes. And the last thing I would have you consider is mentoring people from all different groups and investing in people and their opportunities for growth. You might not be the CEO of the organization. You might not be a senior VP, so you feel like maybe you don't have as much influence as you could. You have influence somewhere. There's something that you know, there's somewhere that you've arrived, there's something that you've seen or experienced or done that can definitely help somebody else. So identify who those people are who might benefit from your experience and your wisdom. And if you can kind of reach back and be of service to folks, it's a really cool thing to do.